it's your girl Courtney Ellese, and welcome to my channel on mommy-hood and entrepreneurship. And today we're going to talk about how you can live below your means the way that I do. Now, these aren't all the tips that you can do to live below your means, but these are just the things that I do to live below my means and ways that I think those things may be able to help you. All right? Yeah, that works. So let's go and get into it. The very first thing that you can do is establish what your goals are. And if you know you want to be here, but you're down here, so you need to establish exactly what these things here are. So for instance, if those things are, I want to have a house that's this big, and I want to make this certain amount of money, and I want my business to be in this place, and I want this many children, and I want to be married. Establish what those goals are, whether that's short-term or long-term or very long-term, whatever those things are. Establish what those things are, because a lot of times we tend to compare ourselves to other people. So these goals help you to figure out where you are, so then you'll stop overspending for things that don't actually pour into those things. The second thing that you can do is stop comparing yourself to the other people who might already be in those areas or who have something else that's not even one of those goals. The good thing about making that list with your goals is you can figure out where you want to be, not necessarily where other people are, and make you feel like you should be. So stop comparing yourself to them and just make your journey about getting to your goals and how long it's going to take you to get into your goals. Remember, we all live different lives and have different circumstances that play into where we are in our lives. You are not a failure because you're not where someone else is, and they are not a failure because they're not where you are. The third thing that you can do is spend less than you earn. So now that you've figured out where you want to be and you've made that list of all of those things and you've stopped comparing yourself to other people, now you need to figure out what you earn and what your budget is. And once you figure out what that is, then you need to find a really good app to input those things into, maybe even connect your bank account and figure out what you're spending per month, and then lower that dramatically. Once you lower that dramatically and actually figure out, okay, this is what I have. Well, this kind of goes into my fourth tip, but once you actually lower how much you want to spend or make a goal on how much less than what you make that you want to spend, then you need to actually budget those things. So you need to itemize all of the different things that you plan to spend and be very, very strict about it so that you can know what money is going where and you have the money that's going to get you to those goals in tip 1. The fifth thing that you can do is invest in yourself and your business. So now that you actually have those things that you wanted to save, then you can invest in your business. So now your means are getting higher, so you have a lower amount that you can live, a higher amount that you can live under versus being here. And now you've upped yourself to this, but the very first thing that you have to do before you can spend that money is invest in that business. So if you're a photographer, then you need to make sure that your camera is the right camera that you need and that you have the correct photo editing software and that you have the correct lighting and the backdrops and things that you need. Or if you're a hairstylist, you have to make sure that you have all the tools that you need and the licenses that you need, so on and so forth. And once you invest that money into that business, you need to actually use that money to push that business forward. So now the last tip, or the second to last tip that I have, is you have to make sure that you make more money but don't increase your spending habits. So now that you have a business that you're investing in, you need to make sure that you're actually making more money for those businesses so that you can bring more income into your businesses and then bring more income into yourself. However, you need to go back and look at that budget and decide to actually still live in that budget for quite some time so that you're not increasing your spending habits, but increasing your increasing your actual income, so then you have more money to be able to invest in that business and pour into that business so that eventually you can live how you want to and you can give how you want to. So these are the things that I do in order to live below my means. I figure if I actually live towards my own goals and my own standards, and actually work to achieve those things by investing in myself and in my business, then eventually my means grow, and I don't necessarily have to grow my living expenses along with my means. I can save up money, make more money, and then eventually I can spend more because my means will be much higher. So those are the things that I do. I wanted to give you guys some tips that were a lot different from anything that I had seen on YouTube or just in general, because a lot of those are talking about, you know, these overall general things that you can do, and these were pretty general as well, but I wanted it to be more so focused on getting you to where you want it to be, actually making the goals for yourself and for your business and getting you there. And with the tips that I gave right here, I'm actually going to start a series based on this particular video. So this is actually just the intro to a lot more. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these tips and whether or not this gave you a sense of release and of relief that you can actually live below your means, and that you can push yourself to investing in yourself, and that you don't have to be like other people in order to be where you want to be. So if this did that for you, definitely drop a heart in the comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming to my video. Ciao.